Along the Yellow River, a civilization was taking shape. Floods gave life and demanded order. Legend speaks of Yu. He mastered the floods, uniting scattered tribes. For the first time, power passed from father to son. But strength turned to excess. The last king, Ji, ruled with cruelty. In the east, a challenger rose. Tang of Shang overthrew Xia and founded a new order. The Shang built walled cities, forged unmatched bronze, and ruled through ritual. Kings spoke to ancestors through fire. The last Shang king, Zhou, ruled in excess. Rebellion gathered under a new banner. At Battle of Moye in 1064 BCE, the dynasty fell. King Wu of Zhou claimed heaven had spoken. They introduced a powerful idea, the mandate of heaven. The Zhou divided their realm among noble lords. Relatives and generals controlled distant lands and army. At first, they served the king. As generations passed, distance weakened control. Local rulers grew stronger, while the king got weaker. Under King Yu, alliances fractured. When West tribes attacked, the nobles did not answer. In 771 BCE, Haojing, the capital, fell. King Ping, son of King Yu of Zhou, moved capital to Luoyi. The Zhou were refounded, but not as strong as ever. Lords became kings. China shattered into rival states. War became constant. The warring states tore China apart. 7 kingdoms fought for survival. But in the west, Qin was rising. Born Yingzheng, he became king of Qin as a boy. In 221 BCE, as the wars ended, he took a new title, Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. He standardized writing, currency, laws. But unity came at a cost. The teachings of Confucius were silenced. To defend the north, he ordered walls to be joined, a barrier against the steppe. In death, he prepared for eternity, an army of clay to guard him forever. He also sent expeditions in search of eternal life. Court alchemists offered him immortality, elixirs that contained mercury. In 210 BCE, during an inspection tour, he fell ill. The man who built an army for eternity died, seeking to escape death. Behind closed doors, power shifted. Li Si and the eunuch Zhao Gao seized the imperial seal. A false decree was issued. Qin Shi was placed on the throne. Qin Shi ruled for only 3 years. Then Ziying lasted mere weeks. Rebellions erupted. Within 15 years of unification, Qin was gone. After Qin's collapse, 2 men rivaled to gain control, Xiongnu and Liu Bang. In 202 BCE, Liu Bang defeated his rival. He declared himself Emperor Gaozu of Han. The Han tempered strength with stability. The Confucius teachings that once silenced now shaped the empire. The Han expanded west. Caravans crossed deserts, silk, paper, and ideas connected China to the world. For 4 centuries, the Han defined what it meant to be Chinese: empire, bureaucracy, identity. Under emperors like Huan and Ling, the court decayed. Eunuchs dominated politics, and corrupt officers weakened empire from within. Powerful families seized vast estates. Small farmers lost their land. Taxes grew uneven. Resentment spread. In 184 CE, the Yellow Turban, a religious movement, together with peasant revolt, to crush the revolt. The court armed regional generals. They succeeded, but they kept their armies and weapons. 3 warlords rose: Cao Cao, Liu Bei, Sun Quan. In 220 CE, Emperor Shan was forced to abdicate. The Han dynasty ended. China fractured into the 3 kingdoms: Wei, Shu, and Wu. After the Han collapsed, warlords fought. China fractured and divided to north and south for centuries. A northern general, Yang Jian, seized his moment. He married Empress Dugu Shelo, daughter of a noble, granting him stronger position. In 589 CE, Sui armies marched south. They defeated Chen Shubao, ruler of the Chen dynasty. Exhausted and divided, Chen Shubao surrendered. China was unified once again under Yang Jian, who ruled as Emperor Wen of Sui dynasty. But unity came at a terrible cost. Millions were forced to build the Grand Canal. Under Yang Guang era, he invaded Korea in Goguryeo-Sui Wars and failed. Treasury drained, forcing high tax and labor, igniting rebellion that caused the collapse of Sui dynasty. From the ashes of Sui, Li Yuan led a rebellion, captured Chang'an, and declared himself Emperor Gaozu of Tang. During Tang, poetry flourished, trade expanded. Chang'an became the world's greatest city. History repeated. Tang prosperity empowered frontier generals. Local warlords were born. The empire fractured into north and south. In the north, 5 dynasties rose and fell. In the south, 10 kingdoms ruled. While northern warlords fought for the throne, the south prospered through trade, agriculture, and culture. In 960 CE, soldiers grew tired of endless coups. While encamped near Chen Bridge, they handed a yellow imperial robe to General Zhao Kuan-yin and proclaimed him emperor. He accepted, but on his terms. No looting, no bloodshed, civilians protected. Zhao Kuan-yin became emperor. The Song dynasty began. After proclaimed emperor, he did not rush south. First, he stabilized the north. He strengthened civil officials over military men. Warlords were removed. Private armies dissolved. The imperial heartland was unified again. Song advanced carefully to south. Some resisted and were defeated. Others surrendered before destruction arrived. The Song reunified China one more time, not through endless conquest, but control, compromise, and administration. Printing, gunpowder, compass, and paper money reshaped the economy. But innovation couldn't stop invasion. From the north, a new power advanced. Through internal fragmentation and unification, China endured. But this time threat came from outside. From the northern grasslands came people raised for war, forged by conquest. The Mongols were unified by Genghis Khan, who forged the most mobile and disciplined army the world had ever seen. First, they conquer the north. Western Shah was erased by repeated invasions and total destruction. Then the Mongols turned east. Jin armies fell in the field. Cities fell to siege. They combined cavalry warfare with siege tactics to conquer north. Method the Mongols perfected. Then the long war for the south began. For decades the Song resisted. The southern Song had strong cities, deep resources, navy and vast river. This makes siege war and cavalry obsolete. When horses failed, they adapted. At Siege of Xiangyang, they used large counterweight trebuchets, built by Muslim engineers. They also blocked water supply lines, captured Song shipbuilders to build river fleets specifically for blockades. When Xiangyang fell, the south lay open. One man finished the conquest, Kublai Khan. He ruled China not only as Khan, but also an emperor. For the first time, China stood inside a world empire. Trade and ideas moved freely across Eurasia. But victory carried a cost. Heavy taxation, ethnic hierarchy, Confucian sidelined, floods, famine, plague. In rural area, when rebellion came, it came from the bottom. One man rose from hunger. Zhu Yanjiang, a former peasant and monk, Zhu Yanjiang rose within the Red Turban rebellions. To defeat Mongol, Zhu need to defeat his rivals first, the warlords. First, Zhu captured Nanjing in 1356 from local forces that had fled during the Red Turban uprising. He then re-administered Nanjing. In 1363, at the Battle of Lake Poyang, he defeated rival warlord Chen Yuliang to secure the Yangtze Basin. By securing Yangtze, he was able to restore supplies to people of the south and stabilize the region. In 1367, he captured Suzhou by defeating Zhang Xichang. He blocked water supply route to exhaust the rival army, winning without blood. Thus, the whole river delta was secured, rich land and water traffic on his control. With rivals gone, the north lay open. A dynasty was born. Zhu Yuanzhang did not seize power in chaos. He replaced an empire. There was no final battle. By the time the Ming marched north, the Mongol Empire was already shattered and abandoned. But what mattered was people's support that eliminates resistance. In 1368, Dadu, now Beijing, was captured. The Mongols fled north. China returned to Chinese, not through shattered blood, but through people's choice and restoration of order. Empires fall when people stop believing. The Yuan lost heaven's favor, and China chose its future. In 1368, China was reborn. After a century of Mongol rule, a rebel monk became emperor. The Ming dynasty began. Under the Yongle emperor, they built a city within a city a palace to command the world. Then China looked outward, not for conquest, but to display command. Gigantic fleets sailed west. They were led by Zheng He, a Muslim eunuch, captured as a boy, raised to serve the emperor. His fleets crossed the Indian Ocean, Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, East Africa. China had the power to conquer, but the empire believed conquest was unnecessary. Submission was ritual, through the kowtow. China ruled by recognition, not by settlement. Prestige mattered more than land. On the final voyage, the fleets reached East Africa, the far edge of China's known world. In 1433, China's great voyages came to an end. The fleets ended not from fear, but from choice. Scholars opposed the sea. The voyages drained the treasury. The North demanded defense. And after Yongel's death, the court turned inward. By the late 16th century, the climate turned colder. Harvests failed. Hunger spread. Silver vanished, taxes could not be paid. Corrupt officials. Rebellion rose. In 1644, Beijing fell from within. Rebels entered the capital. By the fall of Beijing, the court was gone. The last emperor of Ming, Chongzhen, chose death. The Ming dynasty ended. China was leaderless. The gates stood open. From the north, a new force gathered. The Manchus. This is no glory. This is collapse, humiliation, fracture. In 1644, Beijing fell. The Ming dynasty collapsed under rebellion. The Manchus crossed the Great Wall. They founded the Qing dynasty, a foreign house ruling China once more. At first, the Qing ruled well, order restored, territory expanded, the empire prospered. But strength bred certainty. China believed itself complete. For centuries, China sold to the world and bought almost nothing in return. So Britain answered with opium. Opium flooded into China, not as trade, but as poison. Millions became addicted. Silver drained away. Officials weakened. The state hollowed out. Social and economic collapse. When China tried to stop it, the cannons spoke. At Chuanpi, China's coastal defenses collapsed. Steamships, modern guns, against an empire unprepared. Defeated, China was forced to sign the Treaty of Nanking. Ports opened, foreign powers controlled customs and tariffs. In Guangzhou, Shanghai, Fuzhou, Xiamen, and Ningbo. Territory lost under the Treaty of Nanking. China lost Hong Kong. Sovereignty broken. Foreigners in China could not be arrested or punished by Qing officials. In 1911, revolution spread from Wuchang. Provinces broke away from the Qing. The court ordered General Yuan Shikai, to crush the rebellion. Instead, he negotiated with revolutionary leader Sun Yat-sen. The empire became a bargaining chip. Abdication in exchange for the presidency. In 1912, the abdication was signed. The last emperor, Pu Yi, was dethroned. 2,000 years of imperial rule is now an empty throne. Revolution gave birth to new power, but power without boundaries is dangerous. In 1911, revolution ended 2,000 years of empire. Sun Yat-sen proclaimed a republic. The revolution had ideals, but not the army. One man controlled China's strongest force, Beiyang Army, Yuan Shikai. To avoid civil war, Sun stepped aside. Yuan took the presidency. Parliament dissolved. Opposition crushed. Rule came by force. In 1915, Yuan crowned himself emperor. The generals refused. They rebelled. Yuan Shikai died soon after. In 1916, China fractured, provinces declared independence. Sun Yat-sen died in 1925. China's revolutionary founder never ruled a united nation. Then came invasion from Japan. Cities burned. Millions suffered. In the northeast, Japan installed Pu Yi, the last emperor of China, as puppet emperor. In 1945, Japan was defeated. Its armies withdrew. China was exposed once more. The war had not erased China's divisions. Two forces remained. The communists had grown during the war, rooted in the countryside, led by Mao Zedong. The nationalists claimed the republic, carried Sun Yat-sen's ideals, led by Chiang Kai-shek. The communists promised land. They won rural support. Discipline held their ranks. The nationalists were exhausted. Corruption eroded trust. Inflation hollowed their rule. Between 1948 and 1949, entire nationalist armies collapsed. In Liaoshan campaign, Manchurian fell. In Huaihai campaign, they lost central China. In Pingjin campaign, Beijing surrounded. Beijing fell, major cities followed. Defeated on the mainland, Chiang Kai-shek withdrew across the sea. The Republic of China survived in Taiwan. In October 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed a new state, the People's Republic of China. This is no propaganda, but the world need to admit that now is China time. In 1949, the People's Republic of China was declared. Mao Zedong stood before the nation. A new chapter began. Land was redistributed. Industry reorganized. The nation mobilized at unprecedented scale. In 1966, another upheaval. The Cultural Revolution. Youth rose. Authority collapsed. And resistance was silenced. In 1976, Mao Zedong died. Power vanished overnight. China fractured. Three forces competed for its future. Gang of Four, Hua Guofeng, and reformists led by Deng Xiaoping. After the radicals fell, the party faced a choice: ideology or recovery. The elites chose development. They chose Deng Xiaoping. From the struggle, reform emerged under Deng Xiaoping. China changed course. Markets opened. The coast transformed. In a single generation, hundreds of millions were lifted from poverty. Cities rose at breathtaking speed. China re-entered the global stage. Economic power, technological ambition. A nation once humble, now influential. By 2026, China stepped onto the global stage of innovation. On its biggest annual broadcast, robots danced. The world saw something new. Empires rose, dynasties fell, revolutions reshaped the land, but across 4,000 years, China endured.